This is Ready, Set, Reiki, a podcast about Reiki, the universal energy life force, from the curious beginner to the seasoned master teacher, welcoming all systems, all lineages, and all levels. Reiki is a journey and not a destination, and on this Ready, Set, Reiki journey, I refer to myself as a guide rather than host, as I too am traveling, learning from others, and supporting others on this Reiki journey as well. And with that said, I am your guide, Tracy C. Wright. And today, joining me on this journey is Gina Cavalier. Now, she is a multi-talented individual who wears many hats. She is an author, writer, artist, public speaker, executive producer at Love and Media, and founder of the Liberated Healer. She is dedicated to using various forms of media, such as books, programs, documentaries, mobile apps, and support groups to address the most pressing issues facing humanity. Her mission is to inspire, support people through diverse storytelling, ultimately aiming to impact the world positively. She is a media veteran, former entertainment studio executive, technology enthusiast. She has contributed to over 300 film titles, such as Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts, and Where to Find Then franchises. She began her speaking career at Warner Brothers Studio, where she established a business resource group that organized insightful events of over 600 attendees. She now speaks to teams at corporations, schools, bookstores, veterans, meetings, and conferences. And here she is joining me today on Ready, Set, Reiki. Gina, welcome to Ready, Set, Reiki.
Oh, that was a lovely opening. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here in your presence and all your presence and energy.
Wonderful. And there was still so much more that I could share, but let's hear it in your own beautiful voice. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm just so grateful for this time and opportunity, and just so anybody knows that I want to share that thankfulness that we get to share this time and actually get to meet, even though we're not face to face. It's really important. Um, I I'm in my 50s now, and I was born in California, raised in Scottsdale, Arizona, though, so I'm a little bit of a cowgirl. I got a little Southern accent, sometimes people still say. Came to California, missed my hometown of California when I was 17, and it was in the 80s, and I went on a crazy journey. I married two rock singers. I was involved in a lot of music stuff, and just really suffered greatly from feeling outside of the bubble and that I didn't really belong here, and had to find my way to understanding that I have a purpose here, that it's worth healing, that it's worth going through the hard things to get to the good things. And I just had an incredible journey, and now I've healed that in me, and I want to share it with the world so other people suffering or people that they love are suffering can have someone that they can look to that has healed something as great as suicidal thoughts in their life. And that's my life path right now.
Beautiful. So when did healing come into your life? Where was the catalyst of change for you?
Well, I had to make a decision. I was getting really tired of the negative patterns in my own mind. I started to recognize, these are childhood wounds from abuse, and I'm attracting other traumatized people into my life, and we're just traumatizing each other. And we're good people. We all want the best for people for the most part, usually. But why does these negative life patterns still continue to happen? And maybe I do belong here. Maybe I do have a purpose here. Maybe I should fight for myself. And I did start on this journey. It was about 15 years long or short. And it did take a while to get to the point where I would say that I'd actually healed my suicidal ideation. But the journey was really beautiful. I went into all different modalities of religions and techniques and Reiki and all kinds of different things as well. But the one thing that changed it drastically for me was to learn about energy and how it moves, and learn the tools to move it and transform it. And that now, no matter what happens in my life, I can look at that energy and I can, read it and transform it and communicate that. And then about 4 years ago, something like spontaneously happened in my bedroom basically one night, and it was like a light filled the room, and I was kind of guided that I need to share everything that I've learned and create a program, and that it was my turn to teach. And I kind of didn't want to at first, because I felt like I was skating and like, oh, I'm just a happy person now. My life plan had other plans for me. It's time to become a teacher. And I take it very serious becoming a teacher, because you take a lot of people's, it's a big responsibility. But it's been about 3 or 4 years now. I've written 2 books. I'm doing a documentary, and I'm just like thoroughly enjoying this life path.
Beautiful. So the Reiki, the energy work, would you say that you found it or it found you?
Gosh, I don't even know how to answer that. I think it's a combination of both.
Okay, very good.
The universal energy, if it was already always there for me, but I had to make the steps towards it. So it's, to me, a partnership.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So what does the liberated healer mean to you?
Well, when I was trying to actually, the name came to me that night through spirit, and they already had the name for me, so it made it easy. But the way that I describe it is, every single person who wants to heal themselves and get there's a liberation that happens when you decide that you want to accept responsibility for your own healing journey. So, and what I mean by that is, there's times, especially in the beginning, where you're like, I'm going to go to a healer and they're going to heal me. It's kind of taking out that they are going to heal you, that you are going to work with other people. You're going to learn other tools. You're going to master it. It's like a team effort. But at the end of the day, you are healing you. So it's that each person has the ability to become their own liberated healer.
Beautiful. So you've been doing this work for a few years now, teaching for a few years, and you're out navigating this wonderful landscape of energy work and helping heal others. What is a common misconception about intuitive healing and spiritual work?
I think it goes back to just that last question, that a person who's in this space can actually just go and heal you without the other person doing the work. Because even in Reiki and energy work, we can only do so much. And if they don't adopt better, healthy, energetic practices or patterns, they might slip right back into what had actually been popped off. So then they wonder, like, oh, maybe the healing didn't work, or the healer didn't do anything, or they're not good. And the reality is that, again, it's a partnership. There's changes that need to be made, to make a long-term plan stick.
Right. Helping others, working with individuals, publishing, books, and helping those that have dealing with trauma-informed issues. What has been the biggest challenge, or rather struggle, you faced in your own healing journey?
Wow. Struggles. I think I have to say that getting big money people behind the idea that the world needs this kind of assistance, finding partners who there's a lot of money going to a lot of nonsense. And if we were really the tribe that we really want to be and can see, we need to start pulling back some of those resources to individuals like myself, and to like you, and to other people who are really in service to humanity. But we need abundant support from financiers, and so we can continue to do this work. And we need to have that more recognized, and more programs and support. There's a Facebook group I'm on that has 1.4 million people. And that's bigger than any superhero Facebook group, so this is a 911 necessity. It's a need. And I'm on there at least an hour every night as one individual trying to help people. We have the technology, we have the wherewithal, we can create more programs. We just need the money.
Right. Right. Well, thank you for being on there and trying to be of service and to help others.
Thank you.
So, what do you wish your younger self knew about spiritual work and healing work?
That we're never alone. The moments that we feel so alone or don't belong in this planet, that our guides are there, that our soul is an intelligent vibration that is never far away from us, that isn't, no matter what our journey is filled with adventure and learnings, and it wants us to be here, it wants us to stay here, that we programmed the adventure ahead of time, and that it is all about learning and growing and evolving, and to not separate yourself from spirit or soul, and not to disconnect that, to try to stay mind, body, spirit, and soul. I separate it. To me, spirit is the belief system and the information about how you receive energetic information, but the soul is completely separate. It's a living, thriving thing that vibrates and has its own sound, has its own name. And I would like to, once I realized that I had that connection, I started to fall back in love with myself because I realized I had a purpose here.
Oh, beautiful. So lovely. What a wonderful message.
Yeah.
So, when it's time for you to get an energetic tune up, what are some qualities that you look for in an energy healer or worker?
Oh my God, I love getting healings. I love working with other people, and all, just so anybody who does this, it's like we have to have our own healing partners, every single one of us. There's not a shaman out there or a Reiki master who doesn't have to have another Reiki master or teacher out there. I get so excited when I get to get healings. It's like, but I do look for a connection that feels right. You know what I mean? And that we're kind of in this similar mindset at the time, but also somebody that has different skill sets than I do, because I love learning. So I love learning new things. And I really hope that they kind of explain a little bit more of like what's happening. So what I mean is, when people just come and start putting their hands on me and then they're like, we're done. I like a mutual, like, what are we seeing? What's moving? And I like information because it tantalizes my brain.
Right. 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 Well, when you began your healing journey, you multi-talented, you wore many hats, and author, writer, public speaker, we worked in the entertainment industry, and then slowly moving towards the liberated healer. So what advice would you give someone who's wanting to enter this profession of spiritual work?
Well, the first thing you have to do is, especially if it's confusing, because life is about conflict, life is about obstacles. They're never going to go away for anybody. So I like to look them as like mountains, and with paths on the mountains, and we're going to constantly having to go up, but it's making the best decision about what path to take will illuminate for you a lot easier if you can be grounded and calm and actually work the tools yourself, and so you can kind of be able to see the direction that you need to take earlier, and try to reduce, like, I used to feel like I was carrying a boulder on my back. What I did is, now I imagine that boulder falling off, and I put an axe in my hand instead. And it's like, I'm going to climb that mountain with an axe. And so I choose to release that stuff that's holding me back, let it go. And the one thing I can always say that seems to help people is, when you have to make a decision, do I turn left or turn right, or take this class or work with this person? Listen to your own body and ask, is this exciting to me? Does this make me excited? Do I feel giggly? Do I feel tingly? If that is a yes, then step forward to that. If it's like, oh, I feel weird. No, I'm not feeling good. Just say no. It's such a clear indication, because you got a lot of information coming to you. Just use that as your constant navigation. And the word is, does it excite me?
Some good advice. Yeah, it's it's just so interesting that, many people get discouraged by the challenges, and there's challenges out there, but, remaining positive, as you said, you felt it was a boulder, but you placed it aside and you were chipping away at all those challenges that are ahead of you. So it's a really beautiful way of looking at it, and see how the body feels. The body will let you know, right?
And the other clear message I have is I look at everything as an opportunity to grow.
Mm.
Everything, even something that's really difficult, even like an argument or something that you have to deal with the legal system that makes you want to just scream your head off, or right? It's like you're going to learn something through that process, and you just start to go, oh, it's an opportunity. I'm going to learn about, getting sued or whatever's going to happen.
Right. It's a teachable moment for sure.
Yeah. And so I do that all the time now. I'm like, okay, what am I going to learn here? And it just seems to help me take the anxiety or pain off like situations.
Sure. And I always add to that, make sure to really learn the lesson so you don't have to repeat it. Pay attention.
Or you can recognize it faster. You're like, oh, not doing that.
Yeah, we're not doing this again. Or we're not doing this in other lifetimes either.
Yeah. And having compassion for yourself, for sure.
Absolutely. So what books do you recommend? And they can be your own.
Okay, so, well, definitely my own, because it's Surviving Suicidal Ideation, which I'm so proud of. I wrote it with, co-authored it with a trauma-informed therapist, Dr. Amelia Kelly. It's right here. I did all the illustrations. All my illustrations are channeled through spirit. I actually channel artwork of people's souls. I see their soul now is kind of a cool thing, and I can draw it out, and it's their original oversoul, and I can see their timeline, different timelines that are going on and things like that. So I do that for clients once in a while. But this book is not just about healing suicidal ideation, but I have pretty much a good selection of all my techniques of like grounding, how I calm myself down. It's great for people who might be suffering here and there from suicidal ideation, but don't want to go and tell people, or don't want to, because they're afraid of being stigmatized or anything like that. So, so it's a great book for that. I have a book coming out as well called Planet Walking, a handbook for the living. And that's meant to just like roll up your back pocket. And it's kind of written for more millennials or people that don't want to read a lot of text. And there's just a lot of, small sections of just sort of the cut and dry of what is energy, even like what are ghosts, what are guides, what is the color vibrations mean? It's sort of like a quick guide, along with another bunch of images about how energy moves through the body that I channeled. And I also really like Thomas More's books. He's my mentor. He wrote Care of the Soul, is a therapist and a Buddhist, and that he's really amazing. It's one of my favorite books.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I believe, is he the one that wrote the foreword to your book?
Yes. That was like such a dream come true. I mean, I read a part of it, that what he wrote yesterday, and it's, again, I burst into tears. It was just so full. I just feel so grateful. Such a good moment,
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So what other services do you offer? Do you offer classes, events, trainings, workshops?
I have a video series on my website, theliberatedhealer.com, of just meditation 1, and I'm building meditation 2 right now. I'm building actually an app, and I'm working with people to raise about $3 million for that. There's also going to be a suicidal ideation widget on that. So people, anytime they're feeling out of sorts, can open that up, and it has a bunch of resources for them. And I'm looking, I just met with Mount Sinai this morning about trying to raise some funds for that. And right now I'm just speaking and hoping to build a lot more classes around the Planet Walking book. Has literally all of my teachings in it. So, that's actually a 6-week course. You can go every single day. So when that comes out, you can do a daily 6-week course with that. And we're also building a documentary. So for me, it's all about consistently creating content. So loveandmedia.com is my business, and you can just stay apprised of that and find out any new things that are coming up.
Wonderful. It's just amazing when you look back at your story, how every bit of your experiences have all built on each other just for this moment, for what you're doing now. Isn't that something?
Unbelievable. I just got chills. Like, yeah, no,
Like if we were taking a glance back, so probably, 20 years ago, you probably never would have imagined authoring a book, right? And
oh, well, it was a
mobile
dream.
app. Well, how about a mobile app, right?
No, no, yeah, absolutely. I know. Yeah. I mean, I had dreams come true this year, and it can happen. I really didn't have a lot of education. So of course, talked to myself that this was never going to be a part of my life. I think actually, because I grew up in Hollywood and I was around a lot of like rebel rock star musicians and things like that, I was
Right.
kind of afraid to tell people I was an energy person or interested in energy. I was afraid of me looked at as like hippie.
Mm,
The ego of what other people think really stopped me from pursuing the things that I love. And
right.
I realized I don't have to wear a flowery dress to love spirit. You know what I mean? Like I was like,
Sure.
like, do I have to change everything I am? And it's like, no, it doesn't even matter. You could be anything and anyone, and that was such a great thing to realize that I didn't have to look a certain way to jump to be spiritual. I didn't have to act a certain way, that I don't have to be this doormat just because I'm spiritual. I
Mhm.
can be a little bit of a rebel as well still.
Right, right,
I
right.
didn't want to lose all that. And it took me a while to realize I can still be spiritual, but still be a rebel.
Right. And even with maybe an insecurity of thinking, maybe I'm not educated enough, the universe collaborated and brought you Dr. Amelia Kelly, who helped
Absolutely.
assist with the book. So there's your helper right there to help guide you.
Well,
To,
the Swedenborg Foundation published it, which is all based on Emanuel Swedenborg's work, and he, was a mystic. He had that one of the highest IQs ever recorded, and that's why he's got a big following. And he
yes.
channeled through me on the book, and he made sure I did certain things, and he helped me. Guide me. And he said he's going to be there for the whole book. And he was there for the whole book. And the second book, I had an earth angel who channeled through me, who had repeatedly committed suicide on her life.
Mhm.
So yeah, I had more support than I ever thought I would get.
Beautiful, beautiful. So where can we find you online, in person, if someone wants to connect with you?
I have the liberatedhealer.com. I'm also an artist, so I'm ginacavalier.com. And I have loveandmedia.com, so I have my personal and then my healing, and then I have my media company. So I'm all on Instagram, everywhere. You can just type in Gina Cavalier. I'm pretty much like, it's so easy to find. And you can always
Beautiful.
send me a note. I love it. I always get back to everybody. I'm on all these Facebook groups trying to talk to people. So I love answering questions and being of service to people. It's confusing, it's scary, and reach out to me. I'll do the best I can.
That's wonderful. Thank you for being so accessible to those who are having struggles, because sometimes they just need someone to listen.
Yep. That's why I'm on there every night. I mean, I talk to people I will never even meet. And
Right.
sometimes I spend an hour with them. They're right now like suffering. And then I just don't know how I just get down there and just spend like
Hmm.
an hour with them, never talk to them again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even giving them 30 minutes or an hour, what a difference you've made in their lives.
Yeah.
Right. That could have
Sometimes
been
you just
the
need to
turning
hear.
point.
Yeah.
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 So that ends our first part of our journey together, and I'm going to continue as your guide to the next part, which is a social media questions from listeners and from energy healer students and Reiki students. So here we go.
Okay.
Number 1, tell us about your book, Surviving Suicidal Ideation from Therapy, Spirituality, and the Lived Experience.
Well, it's a collection. I had this vision to write this book. I want everybody to know who might have suicidal thoughts, that you don't have to live the rest of your life with suicidal ideation. It can be healed and programmed out of you. And knowing that is something that you need to know if you've ever had that. You can really train your brain and your body to not have those thoughts anymore. I'm, I just want people to know that. And so I did want to add a trauma-informed therapist for people that want to have intellectual clinical information. So I did ask Dr. Amelia Kelly to join me on it. And I think it's really important because she adds a lot of really qualified information that I couldn't give. I talk about my backstory of kind of why I think I put my story in there, my personal story, my childhood and what happened. But then I also show how I healed myself through falling in love with myself and finding my life's passion and putting all my techniques in there, and prayers and meditations is a great workbook for people.
Beautiful. So question number 2, what is the Liberated Healer method?
Well, and I can do one-on-one healings too. People can book right on my calendar on my website. I do a one-on-one masterclass where I teach what I know right directly to the person, and I communicate to their spirit and their soul, and we integrate the information so they have that information forever, because some of that information has been programmed out. And we always start with a grounding. We start with earth and cosmic running through the whole ecosystem of your body to pop off negative energy. We call back your energy. We show you how to do protections of your energy. We teach you how to get into the center of your own head to get everybody else's thought out of you. I mean, that's literally just the beginning.
Beautiful. And that can be found, the information on your website, correct?
Yes, theliberatedhealer.com.
Beautiful. So the third question, what other big picture programs are you developing?
Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm so excited. I'm doing a 6-part docuseries. I have an entire Ukrainian film crew. We already did our trailer. We're doing a big fundraiser in Malibu with about 200 filmmakers and investors, and trying to get people, again, with money to invest in content. If we're going to do all these horror movies and all this other stuff, why can't we do more things that intellectualize what's happening to us through mental health? Because we're not talking about the scary stuff. What we're trying to do is bring levity to the scary stuff, because it happens to so many of us worldwide. So it affects people all over the place. So I'm speaking anywhere I can, talking to colleges with students who are really suffering. Again, creating the books and more content and more content and more content.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It's just an amazing journey. Every time you tell me something, it's like, whoa, I didn't expect that.
That's what I'm here for.
And then on top of it, you're an artist, right? You have hand inked art pieces that you create. So it's like, that's like the commercial. Wait, there's more.
Well, just about the art real quick. So when I was really suffering, I didn't know what to do with this energy. And I would doodle, and I would do it really tight and really strong little doodles. And it was like trying to get my frustration and anger out. And that was the way that I got it out. And then people were saying, that is cool. That's art. And I was like, no, those are doodles. And they're like, no, that's art. And I'm like, no, I didn't believe in myself, but I didn't realize that was actually really saving me to release that energy. I had to get rid of it somehow. So it's, my instinct was to get it out, but I didn't realize that there was a really energetic purpose to it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, that was our last question. Is there anything else that you'd like to share? Maybe as we were talking, something you might have forgotten. So the floor is yours.
I just really want to connect to anybody who needs to hear this right now, and send you a big hug, and I'm putting my arms around you and my heart to your heart, and recognizing that we really are a community and a collective. And I hurt, you hurt, we all hurt sometimes, that our community is actually kind of sick. And each individual, as we heal ourselves deeply, it will spill out around us. And even though that healing journey can be a little bit scary at times, I want you to know that the universe is supporting you, that you have a lot of guides that love you and hold you, and angels and ascended masters. That is a vast, vast world out there. And as you dip into it, you're just going to find so many beautiful nuggets of why you are here, and that the things that you don't like about yourself or don't think is the best part of you, they're going to become the best part of you. You're going to start to love those things that make you an individual, and you are perfect the way you are, exactly the way you're supposed to be. And embracing that is the way to get to the next level of happiness and joy. And I want to send so much love. And if you are in the middle of any kind of chaos, if you can stop and just try to transform it back to love as much as possible, whether that'll help any situation in your life.
All right, beautiful. Do you have any recommendations for someone who, or resources that if someone is having these feelings or crises, that maybe they could call or reach out?
So there's 988, which is, national, and you can call it anytime. And a lot of teens or a lot of people don't want to call, they want to text. So I think it's 741-741. You might want to look it up, but that's a text only a hotline. And I like that because sometimes people don't want to talk to a stranger. And you just say, hey, I'm having a heart. Because even when I go on these Facebook groups, I'm just texting people or basically. So I like that, especially for teens, let them know that that's there. If they need to reach out to talk to somebody, it's private, it's confidential, and you don't have to like share all your information. And in the back of our book, we have an extensive list of resources.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Gina, for joining me on this Ready, Set, Reiki journey. Your schedule, I know, is so full, but you were gracious enough to give me a little bit of your time today.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right, beautiful. All right, my wonderful listeners, if you would like your question featured on Ready, Set, Reiki, reach out to www.readysetreiki.com and check out Feather Sister, which offers yoga and Reiki trainings. I'm Tracy C. Wright, and this has been Ready, Set, Reiki.